Hey guys, what's up? This is Maverick. Just thought I'd throw out a better video than I made last time on my build and kind of give you a more in-depth of what's going on here. This is my new computer build. It's I call it the Earwig. I don't really have a better name for it. I should probably give it a, I don't know. But yeah, it's in a Caselabs SMA8 reverse ATX layout. So it's kind of flipped. It probably looks a little different to you guys than usual. But yeah. In it, I've got an ASUS X99E Workstation motherboard with a Intel i7 Extreme 5960X 8-core 16-thread CPU, as well as 32 gigabytes of DDR4 2666 megahertz RAM in Quadchannel, and I've got two EVGA GTX980 Classified video cards. Both have been able to hit 1600. I haven't really pushed them any further. I've got to do a BIOS flash, and then I can actually see what those babies are actually capable of. So yeah, there's our CPU right there, the RAM, the motherboard, two classifieds. Let's see if I can get in there and give you guys a look at the. You can read back there. It actually says Classy on it, GTX980 Classy, and then I also have. I gotta dust that. It's the only thing that's really getting dusty in here, probably because of these fans. But I've got my sound card, which is ZxR Soundblaster, and a lot of people say, "Oh, you have a sound card in your computer," but in all honesty, it sounds a crap ton better than the onboard sound. And that's because I'm using actual speakers. I'm not going to little computer speakers. I go directly from here to an amplifier, or not an amplifier, a receiver and an amplifier, and then to my speakers and stuff. So that, it kind of makes things different when you're listening to music. And people that say that sound cards are crappy, they just I guess if you're just gonna listen on headphones, go ahead and get your external DAC. But I like having my sound card. So now let's get on to the cooling. So you got the system down. Also, let me explain one thing before. This is all my custom hand-wired sleeving. Took a lot of work. I got to do some cleaning up of it, obviously, and make it look prettier. But yeah, it's all paracord. Let me tell you, when you make this stuff, expect to have kind of like a little bit of rope burn on all your fingers if you do it by hand. Which I sleeved them all by hand, pulled all the wires, melted them all, and yeah, it was an interesting task. It's something that if I do again, I will do again, but when I do it again, I'm definitely going to take a little bit more time and make sure that things are set up the way I want, because when you cut these, you want the back length of the cords a little bit shorter. You don't want all your wires even, otherwise it doesn't do the nice clean fold that you see in all the really professional looking photographs and videos. But let's go to the water cooling now. Alright, so I've got two alpha cool radiators in this thing. Down here, there's one down here that might be a little easier to see if I just come over here and show you. This is a XT45 alpha cool 560mm radiator with 140mm NFP, NFP 14 fans from Noctua. There's a D5 variant pump right there. The only piece of softline tubing is there. Makes it really easy to kind of work with all the stuff back there and drain it. Eventually I need to build a draining system. And then up here I've also got another radiator in the loop, and this one is a 140mm with 140mm fan. Sorry, it's a 420mm in length, 140 with 140 fans, and this one is a UT60, so it's 60 millimeters thick. Again, alpha cool. And on the front, I've got it in a push-pull configuration, but on the front, they're already, even though I vacuumed it maybe 2 days ago, it's already collecting a little bit of dust. But I've got Dempsey Flex filters, which are actually doing quite a good job on filtering. The only thing is you actually have to clean them quite a bit. So I've got that going on. I guess if I show you the other side real quick. Yeah, you can see those ones are doing that. They're doing their thing. Let me pop the panel off. I had it loosened up so I could actually pop it off and give you a little bit of a view inside of there, show you what the pump is. I'm using what are they called? I forget the name of my Monsoon fittings. I kept wanting to say Mayhem. I apologize. I'm using Monsoon fittings here, which are they're for hard line, and they're a little bit difficult to use because you have to actually put a collar on these, and remember to have these over the tube before you do the collar. Otherwise, you have to remake your tube, rebend it, and redo the whole thing. And I did that a few times, and that was a pain. This tube was not fun to work with either, and I forgot to install my plate with the hole like this one over for this. But yeah, managed to get that one bent. That's hardline as well. That goes up there, pops out there, goes up to these water blocks, goes up over to this radiator, down, back up through. Sorry, I'm kind of moving real quick there. I should go a little bit slower. Then it goes into the reservoir, of course, pops down through the reservoir, down into the pump, and then down into that 560 millimeter. There's my power supply. I got to do a little bit of cleaning up. I'm actually going to end up changing this over to be similar to that once I get a little bit of more time on my hands. But yeah, that's about that for that. The only thing that concerns me, and I really have to talk to EK about this, is I have not opened this, so I did not cause this. I know that this is a leak. That's how it is with a little bit of dust on there. Let me kind of get rid of that for you. That's from a leak. I shouldn't be too concerned. It's behind the rubber, so I'm not leaking onto my card or anything. But it is corrosion, and it worries me, so I'm going to go contact them and see what they can do about that. And I do have to clean up a lot of my wiring here eventually. I really hate how these fan wires I have going. I want to get them. I want to custom sleeve all my fan wires and do that eventually. But onto the other side real quick, just to give you an idea. I might as well pop this one off. There's those fans. Definitely a big array of fans there. It's kind of cool to check out. There we go. Let me pop this open and give you guys an idea of what's going on as far as hard drives. Alright, so back here we have my 2 hard drive cages as well as one solid state drive cage. And the thing is normally these SMA8s don't have 2 hard drive cages. I ended up adding this guy right here myself. I also ended up doing a little bit of work with a couple of the other things to mount that water reservoir there. But yeah, I ended up getting it so I can actually mount 4 hard drive cages in here, because it just seems too empty back here. It's like it's a waste of space. And only 2 hard drives for a case that's big enough to hold a 560 millimeter radiator. I had to do some work on it. I mean, I'm sure you could probably even do work on this backboard here, add more and make it. But I think at that extent, I'm good where it is. It really did need this though. So yeah, that's my Caselabs SMA8. Kind of disassembled now, but that's just that'll wipe off. That's just a little scuff in my shoe. But yeah, it's a huge case, barely fits under the desk. But yeah, if you need a good water cooling rig, it's fun.